What is up, everybody? Welcome back to From the Green Room. Tonight, my guest, all the way from France, is Tarah of Tarah Who. How are you doing, Tarah?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Thanks for
good.
having me.
Uh, yeah, it's quite late there in France, right? It's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, 12:30.
12:30. Man, that's past my bedtime on a weekend for sure. But so um, so how you doing? And you're obviously in France. Are you just visiting France?
Well, we just finished the tour, the UK tour with Wednesday 13, Sick and Beautiful and South of Salem.
Okay.
And so I usually stay a few extra days and just hang out with my family and my friends. So yeah, I'm just here actually until I have one more day. I'm going back home tomorrow.
Going back home to Los
But
Angeles.
yeah,
Ah, you missed that LA weather, huh?
I do.
um,
Yeah.
so you're getting ready to release a brand new full length album, the collaboration project. It drops April 28th, which is next week, next Friday, I
Yeah.
think. Tell us about that new album.
Yeah, well, it's exciting because I have collaborated with a few artists during the pandemic. So those artists are not well known. We're just friends from, over time.
Okay.
Just really hardworking independent musicians, and we have one thing in common because before that I just never thought I would be able to collaborate with anyone because my lyrics are so personal
Right.
that I just didn't think I could do that. But the one thing in common I have with other independent artists, and especially female artists, is the music industry that we work with every day. And so we're all from different backgrounds and even countries and cultures and everything. But we have that passion for music and rock and roll. We're women and we're really trying to make ourselves known and heard.
Right.
And so those collaborations are about that. And so I have friends from Brazil, but they live in London. So that's with your mom. Fal from Spain. I have Carissa Johnson from Boston. I have friends from France. So it's just from everywhere. But that recurrent theme is the music industry
That's
and what we
awesome.
go through.
Is that something that you've been working on since the pandemic, or something that you had finished and you're just now trying to get it out there?
I don't, I think I never really planned on doing that. I was just on the phone with the band Your Mom. So I was on the phone with Annie and Fabio about something else. And we were really missing each other. And I was just like, oh, we need to write a song together. And then when they agreed, I was like, oh shit, I need to think about that.
Right.
And then I was just like, okay, so let's just make it happen. And we did everything online with some riffs that they had that they didn't know what to do, and then I had some riffs that were I knew were because I for each collaboration, it's a little bit of both universe. So it has to be a little bit of like Tarah Who style so that I can identify,
Right.
but then it's their style so they can. So that's why there's a little bit of pop rock, grunge, more heavy, and like more punk rock or whatever. It's really both worlds. And so yeah, we it was just a test, and then from there I was like, oh, I wonder if so and so would do it. Oh, I wonder if so and so would do it, and everyone kept saying yes. And so I was like, oh shit. And then the idea behind that is to show that, well, as women we support each other, as independent artists we support each other,
Right.
and also, if it helps out, like when we promote in our countries, we help each other out, and like whoever, the fans of, your mom, get to know Tarah Who and vice versa. So that
Right.
was the idea behind that. Yeah.
That's cool. You kind of cross promote all over the country,
Hmm.
all over the world, really, because you got different people in different countries. Um, that's kind of it's also kind of cool that the pandemic, out of all the things that the pandemic didn't bring us, some of the positives were a lot of the bands and musicians did the online creations of
Hmm.
music and stuff like that, and a lot of bands just sat, they're in lockdown, so they wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote, and they got
Hmm.
albums for years now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
it's crazy. One of the positive things that the pandemic, I guess, brought. But you started playing at a young age of 14. Tell us about how you got into playing music.
I don't really know. I know that I was into music because my mom, when she was when she was cleaning the house, she was just blasting music,
Right.
and she was just blasting like Tangerine Dream and Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, and all that. And I realize now my brother and I were never like, oh, turn it down. We never thought of anything of it. We were
Right.
just enjoying. And then when I started listening to my own music, I was like, hey, mom, listen to that. And then she would like it or whatever. And so we were just sharing. So we had this mother daughter experience where we just shared rock and roll,
That's
basically.
cool.
And then, and I've always been drawn to the drums. So I don't know where that comes from. But so I really wanted to play the drums. So because I couldn't afford taking lessons, and
Right.
also it was not really ladylike, and at the time, and like how French people can be really close-minded sometimes. So that was just not it. It's changed, but in my time when I was
Right.
14, it was just no. But then when Coco, actually, we're 10 years apart, when she was learning, she didn't have that experience. So
Mhm.
it's positive that people are getting more and more open-minded to female drummers. So that's good. But in my time, it was not open like that. And so I taught myself the bass, but then I just needed to express myself. And that's when I started teaching myself the guitar in order to sing my own songs and what I was reading on the side and what I wanted to express.
Gotcha.
Um,
But there's so many badass female musicians out right now, and a lot of them are drummers. Like, I mean, that's
yeah,
that's cool. Um,
yeah.
I also read that when you first moved to LA, that you found a warehouse party to perform at on Craigslist.
Yeah, see, that's how old I am. So at the time, Craigslist was not such a scam, and I just arrived in LA. I didn't know anyone or anything, and I was like, "Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start this whole thing." And then there was like a party in a warehouse, and they were just like kind of like an open mic kind of thing,
Hmm.
and then a bunch of people were playing, and then I played. Like, it's so funny because now I'm thinking like, was I crazy, or was the world like a lot, like, in,
I think the
like, I
world
don't
was a
know.
lot less crazy back then, maybe.
I think so, because now I think I don't know if I would ever do that, or if I had someone young, because I was barely 21, I would just be like, don't go to that. Like, this does not sound good at all. So I don't know. Yeah.
That's a funny story, but hey, at least you if you never would have and found that ad on Craigslist, you might have never been able to showcase your talents, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So the album drops next week. After that, what's next for you as far as touring and stuff like that? You're coming back to LA, obviously.
Yeah, I'm coming back to LA, and I want to write. I have a few things already, and I just want to write more. I'm planning to work with a producer that I'm really excited about. As long as nothing is set in stone, I'd rather not say anything. But it's a big producer I'm really excited to work with.
Awesome.
And um, yeah, and also I think I want to try something new. So all of this is kind of like exciting for me because I've been going with the same team for a few years, and now I think I just want to, I don't know, I just want to try something new. And then I have this tour that's set with Life of Agony and Prong for November in Europe, and then we got a booker in France, so we're going to do some shows and try to develop here. And and I have a few more shows in the works, but same thing. I'm waiting on confirmation. And as long as I don't have that set in stone, I'd rather not talk about it.
Awesome. Yep. Yep. That's something to talk about next time. So where can
Yeah.
fans find out what's going on and when you're going to be on tour and stuff like that, and as far as that, and find out where your music's at?
Yeah. Well, everywhere digitally. And I'm just an Instagrammer. I'm not. That's all I can do. And then I just repost on Facebook. But like I haven't gone through the TikTok and Twitter and all that.
Yeah, I try
If
not
I,
to.
yeah. So yeah, Instagram is where you find the newest thing and messages and whatever, because it just gets too much. Otherwise, I don't have a personal life.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And there's so many darn damn social media outlets. You got TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Like
Yeah.
I got
No,
so many. I don't even I post on half of them. So
yeah,
stick to the
I focus
basics.
on one. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, Tara, thank you so much for taking the time. And I know it's kind of late there in France, but I appreciate you jumping on and talking with me. And we'll definitely have to do this again when you get back in LA and on a normal time zone.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Thank you. No
And
problem.
we'll definitely check that album out next week when it drops. It's a collaboration with a bunch of artists and help get their names out too. So appreciate it. And you have a good night.
Thank you.